Welcome to Foné Zosa, the KoineGreek.com podcast. And this is actually the first episode of Foné Zosa. And as such, I figured I should start by actually explaining what the name of the podcast means. So Foné Zosa literally means living voice. And it's a phrase taken from ancient authors from around, the Koine period, Byzantine period. And it's meant to contrast in-person living experience learning from second-hand sort of book knowledge and just sort of flat information. For example, Papias, around the 2nd century CE, writes this: Ugarta ekton biblion to suton me ofelinyu pelambanon, osonta para zoses fones kemenuses. Meaning, for I was not assuming that which is gotten from books would help me as much as that which comes from foné zosa, or zosa foné, from a living voice, kemenuses, and an abiding one. And you see this again and again in different authors. Galen talks about it. Numerous authors talk about this foné zosa, or zosa foné, which presumably is, learning from somebody face to face, somebody teaching you, as opposed to just reading about it in books. And of course, for those of my listeners who know KoineGreek.com, you know that we're all about learning from a living voice, para fones zoses. And the idea is that we don't have to just learn Koine Greek from books and from paradigms and grammars, but we can actually jump back into the language and learn it as a living language, right? The slogan of the website is Koine Greek is not a dead language. So this podcast, sometimes I'll do it in English, sometimes I'll do it in Koine Greek, but the idea of the podcast is to give you more and more tools and information and whatever you need to kind of get into that world of Koine Greek immersion. Now, the reason I'm doing this one in English is because it's all about teaching your children how to speak Koine Greek and kind of going back through how I taught my son, who's now 3 years old,